Well, this is the Pine Mountain Sand and Gravel. It was an operating sand quarry in Letcher County it might have started in the 40s and the 50s. It quit operation in the early 60s. It was operated by my aunt and uncle, Gordon Roosevelt Lewis and Nan Lou Lewis, and I got to play here when I was a kid. It was a real delight, and having a big, large sandbox. I even actually got to work here one day, for a few days when I was about 9 years old. And I remember my uncle wrote me a check to pay me, and that was always kind of a treasure because I really enjoyed and appreciated my Uncle Gordon and loved him dearly, and he was a great man. He's one of the ones who had the vision of developing Pine Mountain here in Letcher County. But I always felt like that the government kind of put the sand quarry out of business, because in the early 60s, when the war on poverty started and they came through and were building all the schools and the courthouses and the things, they had a regulation that the sand had to be washed. And other than the fact that this is we've had 2 days of rain, and so there's a lot of rain here right now, or a lot of water here right now. This is a pretty dry area. And of course, it's pure sand, glass-making quality sand. It didn't need to be washed, but most of the sand they get around here comes out of the rivers, and that needs to be washed because of all the crap that's in the rivers. But at any rate, they couldn't sell sand to these projects around here, and it kind of put them out of business. So it was a small operation at best. At most, I think 6 or 8 people would work here at a time. But my brother got to work here in the summers. He would come and spend the whole summer with my aunt and uncle and actually work here in the sand mine. It was a great experience for him, and unfortunately when I came along, it was out of business when I was old enough to really work, and so I never got to work here. But it's my favorite place on earth. It's really quiet and peaceful, and it's unusual. It's a bit of a geological oddity. I think it must be the last, it's the place where when the water went down millions of years ago. This was what was left. That's why the gravel was so prized locally, because it's beach gravel. It's not the kind of gravel you get from busting up rock at a rock quarry. And so it's great gravel for decorating and things like that. You can see it right here. See all the gravel in the sand. It's really interesting because, you know, it is sandstone and it just crumbles away under your feet. But it's really pretty gravel. I come up and bring a sifter and get some every now and then for a flower bed or two. And the sand comes in a lot of different colors, pretty much everything between white and black, including some really beautiful crimson. You can kind of see it over here. It's gorgeous sand. And it's constantly making it because it's washing it away. But you can see how it just rubs right off. This is a very wet time. It's rarely ever this wet. Usually if it's like this and I come up, I like to bring a couple of bottles and catch the water because it's really good water. I've had 2 weddings and 3 receptions up here so far. I think another buddy of mine's getting married. He may be getting married up here in the not too distant future. It's a very serene, beautiful place. I've never posted it because it's a special place to a lot of people. A lot of young people come up here. It took me a long time. I didn't realize young people were calling it Mars. But that's why we got the name for our music festival. Music, Art, Recreation, and Sustainability in Mars. And we should have a stage up here this year for it. It'll be a Labor Day weekend. I'm planning on having the acoustic stage done by then. But people have been coming up here for generations.